Sis got her game face on. She real techie with it. She like, yo, but we got we got outside interference. You know what I mean? This is major.
We're live, everybody. Finally. Thomas, how you doing?
I can't complain, Lady J, Brother Gil, Media World, friends and family. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's safe. It's supposed to be crazy, icy again tonight. That was a rough situation. But yeah, I'm back. Happy to be back. Thank you. I'm here. 101 things you should know about jail. A bonus chapter, 50 questions you should ask. And pardon me, there's technical difficulties. Yeah, see, you know what? The devil is hard at work. It's a lot going on. But 50 questions that you should ask anyone.
Great. This is
returning from prison.
It's a lot. It is really a lot going on.
You gotta expect it when greatness is around. I sometimes I feel like I should have opted for good, but I said, why am I gonna do good when great is available?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what you get when you go for great.
Yes.
You remember how many times Shaq missed them free throws? He was great. Couldn't do everything.
I'm glad we had a basketball conversation this week.
No, we can't do that because I was thinking about that. Them comments with LeBron and all that. I was like, yeah, it had me chuckling the other day, like, oh man.
LeBron called me about that. LeBron called me about that. Yeah. Yep. It wasn't LeBron James, it was LeBron Smith, my cousin. Yeah. He called me.
And the fact that you say that is why I was asking the question. I said, well, maybe I remember he said he had to unlearn some things to learn some new things. And I was like, maybe that's how he stayed focused and don't pay attention to that by, mixing up the sports like that.
That part is true, though. That part is absolutely true. Yeah, that part is true. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like to get caught up in the things that can't help me really advance. Yeah. Advance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to see y'all. I didn't know I was coming back so quick. That was like an honor. I almost thought it was a misprint. I said, "Is this a typo?" I'm back like that, like I left something. So it's like we back like car seats.
Yeah, because
it's good.
There were so many people that contacted me after you went off because they tuned in like we were just about to go off. So it was like, who is he? They wanted to know who you were. So I said, let me just reach out and see if I can get you to come back on again. So thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, because they really enjoyed you last week. So I'm going to let you and Gilbert talk for a minute while I share this video. And then I'm going to be right back.
Okay.
Definitely.
So
first, let me say thank you for coming back. We appreciate it.
And thank you again for having me, for sure.
It's clear to see that the energy is real, and with everything that you talked about is real, that you had people contacting them want more. And to me, that's a super dope thing. It ain't the information being spread wasn't nothing that doesn't sit right with me. So I'm super happy for this right now. And I'm pretty sure the people who you surround yourself with or who surround or gather around you have a lot of fun because, brother, you be having me like,
I'm known to drop a punchline or two to crack some ice. But again, I appreciate being back. Yesterday was a horrible pagan holiday, and I had to get through that, but because my belief system is a little bit different. I don't knock nobody's thing. So I got through that. Right. I was actually on another show yesterday, and I said, "Wow, I'm really buzzing." So I would like to share what I can share with you guys again, because remember I was revealing to you that I do know some significant information, right. And so I'm very selective how I put it out there. But at the same time, when you guys invite me back twice, it's like I owe it to y'all to be all I could be, to give my full contribution.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know one of the things I was curious, or maybe a little piece you could share with us, and I think this was super dope about the book is what you should ask somebody for coming home. You know, and why do you think that's so important? And why should people ask these certain questions when individuals coming home?
Well, were you able to get the book yet? Did you peep the Jones?
I didn't get the book yet.
I'll give you a sneak peek. I'll give you a sneak peek. I'll give you a random couple of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what page they fall on. You kind of stole me with this one, but it's very important though. Here we go. Boom.
Right.
153rd. 153rd. They uptown with it. All right. Let me see. Here we go. 50 questions. Now, mind you, I told you that somebody has suggested that these 50 questions should actually be asked to not just people coming home from prison, but they said that they were, relevant for anybody.
Right, right.
And I'm going to drop them on you right now. I'm going to give you, like I said, a sneak peek. And again, they're not in any particular order. All right, here we go. Number one, what do you plan on doing with your life now that you are out of jail? Number two, do you have any probation or parole, or are you currently under any aftercare or supervision? Number three, do you have any employment lined up? Number four, where do you plan to work? What kind of employment are you seeking? Number five, do you have any significant job skills, or did you learn a trade while you were incarcerated? Number six, what was jail like? Now, mind you, they're in no particular order. Number seven, what, if anything, did you learn from your experience? Number eight, do you regret doing whatever it was you did and got convicted of? Number nine, was it hard for you to do the time? If so, in what ways? Number 10, how is your credit? If it's bad, do you have plans to rebuild it? Number 11, do you miss anything about jail? If so, what? Number 12, if you could take the whole experience back, would you? 13, do you plan to further your education? If so, how? 14, were you on street drugs or alcohol prior to jail? And if so, are you in recovery? 15, have you had drug or alcohol treatment or counseling? Do you think it is?
I'm sorry.
Hold on, let me finish that last question. Do you think it is working for you? So we can stop right there for now. But like I said, the sneak peek, we was only at 15. I was going to always drop like half. I was going to drop 25 on you, maybe a little later. But go ahead. Let's stop there.
Right. I appreciate that. 15 was a lot, and I didn't even think you was going to go that far. So I appreciate that.
Okay.
I think you hit some really good points as far as questions to ask individuals, because coming out of the system, a lot of individuals, yes, they have exposure to learn a trade. Some utilize it, some don't. And then when they come home, there's not really a lot of resources for individuals who need employment, housing, substance abuse treatment. Who helped? Was this just predicament? What influenced you to ask these questions?
Well, I'm going to beg to differ with you, agree to disagree with the resources. There's an extreme amount of resources because this is the free world. Mind you, people swim across shark-infested waters to get here. So this is where all the resources are at. So it's just a matter of connecting with them. And that would be more so of the issue. Because in there is where you're limited. You're in bondage. So you can only get to a select amount of, resources or connections or whatever the case may be. But once you're in the free world, you got the Palm Pilot, you have school, you have relatives, friends, family. You can ask questions upon questions upon questions. You have hours and hours and hours and hours of endless job seek, or you can get a relationship. It's just so much you can do to continue your world.
I agree. I'm saying it from a standpoint of I know the resources is there, and I'm an individual who know how to go get the resources, but I'm also an individual who has watched, you know, guys come home and after many years and be clueless, you know, because this is a new age. They don't know how to manipulate, or not even gonna say manipulate, utilize what's out there, utilize the tools. They don't know where to go. And what they wind up doing is exactly what they did prior to coming home.
Yeah, they do what they know best.
It ain't what they know best because they wouldn't be where they going.
True.
You know?
Well, they do what they feel comfortable doing to get the quick, you know, the cop out way out.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's not a resource shortage at all. It would be more or less of a lack of mental and it's for the sake of paraphrasing it, it would just be individuals lose focus and are not building themselves up in the correct area. It's like I said, a lot of people spend their whole bid in the gym, or spend their whole bid getting high, or spend their whole bid doing homosexual activities. So they could have been away 60, 70 years, 10 years, 5 years, 8 months. They were not preparing to come out in the free world anyway. You know what I mean? They was just shucking and jiving. And then when the door got open, they were pushed out into a new genre, into like a new era, you know, a new way of life. And they never even really mastered the old way of life. So yeah, it's very confusing, you know. So I can understand how someone would think that there were no resources. I can really understand that, because remember, I don't know if I said this in the last show, but I'll say it now. Many are called, but only few are chosen. So it's a lot of people that's going to get it wrong anyway. Right. You know, and we just have to be all right with that. That's just a casualty of war. That's just a casualty of life. Everybody's not going to, you know what I mean? So unfortunately, there's something that we're going to have to accept.
Right. And I find that completely true. Like, I don't know if I told you, but I'm a credentialed alcohol and substance abuse counselor. And, you know, at one point I worked with young adult males, 18 to 24. And I used to tell them, you know, take me out of a job. I need you to take me out of a job. You know, meaning get your stuff together, you know, stop doing what you're doing. And hopefully they have to say there's no more need for you. But you know what the reality is? That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a part of the cycle, you know. That's a part of it.
Right. So you know, it's like and it's bad. And I know I came into it wanting to help everybody, and that's something that they try to tell you, don't get caught up in that. Like,
you can't.
Everybody, right? So the hard reality is that no, not everybody's gonna get it. And no matter how much pointing to the resources that we can do, they still not gonna see it. You can take a horse to water, you can't make them drink, especially if you don't see the water. You know.
True indeed. It's something that an individual would have to want. Right. You know, the transition of coming home from prison is an option. You know, a person would have to say, yes, I want more out of life, or no, I don't want more, or yes, I want more, but no, I don't know how to ask for it or seek it. You know, it's about honesty. It's about that self-inventory. A person has to know where their strengths and weaknesses are, so that they can, you know what I mean, start dealing with those issues. I like to deal with, like I said, I'm a solutionist. I like to deal with the core. I don't want to put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. Don't give me an ibuprofen for a toothache. We need to get the root canal. You know what I mean? We got to deal with the problem. Right. You know, the core of it. And sometimes those are the core issues. Like saying, it's not the lack of resources, it's the lack of the ability to know how to get to the resources, or even once you get to them, how to take advantage of the resources. And all of this comes with trainings called like life skills training. These are classes and stuff that a lot of people fly open nonprofit organizations and grassroots organizations and stuff like that. A dope organization to have would be life skills, man, because people assume that people just know how to maneuver in life because of an age. Right. You look at somebody, you see hair on their face, or they're a certain height or weight, or they drive a certain car, and you just assume that they know how to live life. Right. You know, or know how to get along in society or conform to the rules of society. And that's not necessarily always true. There's a lot of blender enders. There's a lot of people that are just standing around. And like I say, I know I said this on the last show. Unfortunately, people are gonna die insignificant. So a lot of people are just going to go through life as a loser from cradle to grave. A lot of people are going to go through life and die with potential. You know, how many times do we see Joe Blow or Jane Blow die and be like, yo, they had so much potential, yo, you know? And so it happens. So, yeah. And that's why I always say, you know, people are chosen. People are chosen. So the ratio, I like to always do the ratio of the chosen people. Think of a basketball game. That's the best example I can give you. There's 10 people on the court. And let's say the stadium might hold 50, 60,000 people, or maybe 10,000 people. Look at all of those people, including the sideline and the whole stadium. But it's only 10 people on the court. Just 10 people are chosen to play the game. So that's a whole bunch of people that wasn't chosen to play. So in life is just like that. You know what I mean? It's a whole bunch of people that's not going to get it. You know, it's only a few that, you know what I mean? So, you know.
You made a good point about you know, people, basically what you're saying as far as like the reflection and getting to the root of the problem, right? And I wanted to ask, is that like your own self-reflection, or did you have like some type of help with that, like professional help?
I have had a therapist, and like I say, during my third incarceration, I opted to educate myself. You know what I mean? I opted to upgrade my mentality. I wanted to obtain that bulletproof mind. I wanted to really become not just a thinker, but a good thinker, not just an observer, but a trained observer. You know what I mean? So I opted to really better myself. And in bettering yourself, it starts with honesty. When you do that self-inventory, when you give yourself a checkup from the neck up, you're not going to lie to yourself. You could lie to other people for pride's sake, or the fraud, or the fit in, or whatever, peer pressure. But deep down inside, you know what you need. You know what you did last summer. You know what's right and wrong about you. So as soon as you come to terms with that, you can begin to deal with your issues. You can begin to heal. A lot of people can't heal because, first of all, they won't admit that they're sick. And some of them won't admit that they're sick because they don't know that they're sick. And some of them do know that they're sick. But like I say, it's a lot in the way pride or maybe whatever else. But in order to heal, you first have to acknowledge the fact that you have an issue.
Right. Definitely.
So it's a few different things that go into that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think professional help, it can help individuals move that in that way. But I know in our communities, they more than likely frown upon, you know, receiving that type of assistance.
Here's the thing about that, Brother Gil. Here's the thing about that. If, okay, like in our day, trial and error was bad, but it wasn't that bad. Right. In today's time, like I know I said this last show too, but I'm going to highlight it. Like we went from bad to worse. They skip worse, man, and go straight to hopeless. Right. So it's very important that we don't allow this generation to attempt trial and error. So you got to remember, our ancestors got it right the first time around. They got it right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this is how come our grandmother and grandfather had 9 and 13 children and stuff, and because they got it right. You know what I'm saying? This generation is too fast. They move too fast. But however, they don't know anything different. They don't have anything to compare it to. These millennials, like we always say stuff like, well, man, I wouldn't have did that on camera. Don't they know any better? Or I wouldn't have, how could he just kill that person so quick? Well, because like in our generation, it was a fight. Like, yo, he knocked him out, or yeah, we beat them up. Like you could name 3 or 4 different fights, but in their generation, they don't know anything about that. They weren't born into fighting. Right. So they're straight to the gun, to the violence. So their mistakes are extremely drastic. Mm-hmm. Again, we got to go back to the book. This is why this book is so important. I have to tell people what's on the other side of a mistake. Mm-hmm. It's serious because these guys are going to make a lot of mistakes. Everything they do is a mistake. This is why I don't watch First 48. Disclaimer, my thoughts are mine. They're not reflection of you guys. It's Timeless Thomas thoughts. But on First 48, the average First 48 show is one of our nieces, nephews, and babies and grandbabies on there, 21 and under, 22 and under, and they make it look like these guys are telling and snitching on each other, but they're really not. They just have not been exposed to the system, and the crimes that they've done them in the new millennium where there's cameras everywhere. And see, people don't even know how come that is. You know, people think you have privacy, but you have none. Even your phone is a two-way. I mean, the Patriot Act, people don't understand that because it's so big. The Constitution was a couple of amendments. The Patriot Act is big as a phone book, and nobody will read it. So this goes with this cliche. You want to hide something from a beep, put it in a book. I'm almost sure that nobody can log on right now and say they read the whole Patriot Act. It's too big. I haven't even read it.
Right.
I got to the meat of it, but I haven't read it. It's too big. It's too much. But these are the things that declare martial law. These are the things that say the parole officer can just come right in your crib without a warrant and a burner on his hip. He can act like a cop. And you wonder why you're getting so much unjust treatment, but they have these little clauses in this Patriot Act. Only thing they got to say is, oh, I felt threatened. I felt like it was a terrorist threat. And that's it. They're flipping your car upside down. They're taking people from the street, from the pullover, all the way to the house. They don't even got a warrant enough. And they're like, okay, let's go see what's in this house now. It's deep. And these younger people, these millennials, they're clueless to the system that they were born into. They're clueless.
Right.
So yeah.
And you put me through a whole bunch of stuff right now, and this is what I started thinking about. I remember when I said this last show. You know, I did some time also, and I remember how I used to mess with the older guys. Right. I used to be like, "It's your fault while I'm in here. You wasn't doing what you were supposed to do." And it's like, you know, that was the crack epidemic. You know, crack epidemic created babies that were raising themselves, and that's why we have, you know, we had mass incarceration at that time. We had war against drugs, Reagan, everything. And now I'm like, the young, you know, the millennials, is it because we were incarcerated at the time why they are the way they are? Or is it because there are not enough dudes stepping up to be fathers? Like, where did we go wrong? Where did this generation go wrong?
Again, it's a few variables. I go to the core. Okay, going to the core. First of all, it was a plan. It was a design. So you got to remember, the slave master, the oppressor is still following the same blueprint all the way from when Christopher Columbus and them clubbed the Indians in the head and took the land. They're still doing the exact same blueprint. Their streets are still named the same in every city. The buildings still look the same. They were built by the same exact masons, the same blueprints. So you have to understand they're following a regimen, a schedule, a system. Their thing is systemic. So we are the ones that change up and go astray and switch up and try all these new different things, and 9 times out of 10 we end up being westernized. The only people that I know of our people is the nation of Islam. They still follow the same system, and they still look the same way they did in the 60s. They wear the same bow tie, the same suit, the same newspaper, the same ingredients is in the same bean pie. They still save the same dope addict in the same alley. They follow a system that works. So statistically, they have saved and refined so many men, statistically, and women as well. Well, that's what the oppressor has done. His system is set up so by the time Jim Crow got in the game, those laws they already said, well, look, all we have to do is kidnap the minds, and that's it. The body will follow. And so that's what they did, and they launched war after war. First, it was a chemical war, and that's when with the drugs and all of that stuff. Well, it was physical, first with Vietnam, World War II, and all that. Korea. Then it was chemical with the drugs and all of that stuff, and then now it's all the way up. Just to skip all the way up to the current, it's digital. So yeah, we don't have to answer your question, to be more with your question, we went wrong by getting caught up. It wasn't our fault. We got caught up because, remember, they always sidetrack us. They give us TV, tell lies through vision, programs. They make you watch programs. And all of that stuff does is just takes time from you building yourself up, and you connecting with the true and living God, and you praying to your ancestors and making connections with the right things. Right. So basically you're just weak. For real, you're just a European. This is why, like, when real Africans come over here, they look at it, they think we're lazy and stuff, we're fat, we're obese, we're wearing European clothes, we got all these European designers on our backs and stuff, and we're proud of it. I got Gucci, this Louis Vuitton, that Versace, all these Europeans. And that's so, for somebody who's really from the motherland, who really has it all together, that's such a letdown. It's like, why is this dude trying to walk like he's cool? He's a European. He might as well be. You know what I mean? I'm not being racial, but I'm just saying, when you lose your culture, you lose your identity. When you lose your identity, you lose your soul. And once you lose your soul, you're out of control. That's it. So we became puppets. So we were not there. We were not strong enough to mentor, to be there for our babies. So what happened? We got sucked under, we got on these drugs or whatever, and then we got locked up, like you say, mass incarceration. So now we weren't there. So what happens? The woman has to step up. So then what happens? You know, all the rest of the, you know, the homosexuality had to come out. We weren't around. They had to console each other, all the way up to now. So what do they have now to lean on instead of good, strong fathers, good, strong male role models? The Palm Pilot. They ain't even got to sit home on a laptop no more. They ain't even got to try to have the dope computer, you know, with the fast, you know what I mean, little tower on the joint. It's the Palm Pilot now. And that's it. I told you last week, and everybody knows, if you're honest, no man can compete with a Palm Pilot. You can't. It's just too much on the phone for you to try to get a millennial's attention and try to say and build and make them. It's impossible. It's impossible. You really have to detach them from it. And even incarcerated, they still do everything they can do to get that cell phone in there. You know what I mean? Like, that's the new thing.
I was gonna say that. Like, I think it would be more of getting their attention, getting that child's attention. You would definitely have to detach them from it and bring them back. And I practice that with my own kids too. So, you know, I understand that piece. But going back to something that you said, and it has been a thought that I've expressed in the past, as far as you said, you know, you lose identity, you lose the culture, and the way Africans, or even any Black foreigner that comes to the United States. You were born in the United States, right?
I was.
Okay. I was also, right? And then we have other Black individuals that come from other countries, and some of them don't even see us as their brother or, you know, their sister, right? So
this is true.
We're not seen as their brothers and sisters from others, you know, in other countries. We're not seen as Americans because we're Black. You know, how can we say we have an identity if nobody wants to claim that we belong to them?
But if you look at the scenario that I just said, we're out of pocket. Technically.
Right. So what do we do? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm an individual and you're an individual who have educated ourselves. We are in that same boat as far as, like,
you just said the answer. You just said it. You individualize. As long as you teach your son, he can teach his friends. It's each one teach one. Right. It's each one reach one. This is why I tell you the revolution won't be televised. It's not because the cameras are not in place, because they are. We revise ourselves. And then it goes with the statistic, the laws of, you know, 85% are designed to be blind, deaf, and dumb anyway. And it's the 10% that are the bloodsuckers. And it's the 5% that are awake. And they've dumbed the 5% down. They done got extra fly with it to a 1%. You know what I mean? Because it's a new era. It's a digital era. So they saying, okay, you 5% that's woke, we don't want another level on y'all. Now it's a 1%. This is why I tell you that I know things only 5 people in the world know. When I say that, that's not something slick to say. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to say something slick, I'll say, well, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let me talk this ish, you know what I mean, through my Louis Vuitton apparatus, man, spit this Gucci dialogue. That's slick. Right. But I tell you, I know only things that only 5 people in the world know. It's because I've studied. It's because I've learned. It's because I've paid attention. I've humbled myself. I tore my old self down. It's like when you're rebuilding, you understand, you from BK, when you're rebuilding, you're building a new house. You don't just start building it on top of your old house. You have to tear it all the way down to the foundation. Yeah. So I had to erase every piece of trick knowledge that was taught to me. I had to unlearn. You know how hard that is?
I was going to say, that takes a lot of courage.
So now I can honestly say I forgot to remember stuff that I already knew. People talk to me about stuff, and I be like, yeah, I know that. I forgot to remember that I already know it. I really exited out my life.
Right. It takes a lot of courage to peel away negative behavior, negative thoughts, or false behaviors and false thoughts. It like I'm gonna be different from everybody else. How can I deal with that? And that's another thing that's plaguing our youth. Also, they have no sense of individuality. And if it is, it's on a selfish tip. It's not to express themselves as their own person. It's to that this is mine. I'm not sharing. I'm not giving, and I don't care what nobody else say. This is how it's going to be.
And off of what you're saying, if they don't tighten up quick, right? If we don't tighten them up quick to the best of our ability, they're going to need to read this book. They're going to need 101 things you should know about jail, because this is where they're going to end up, and they're going to have to know how to conduct themselves. Because what's my favorite thing for all of y'all who didn't tune in last week? I always say everybody's one mistake away, one misunderstanding, one lie, one accident away from not just being incarcerated, not just being in jail, but from being in the cell with your first cellmate having 17 years in all push-ups, all push-ups, all push-ups, having the ability to snap you in half if he chooses to. So you just went from being a civilian to caged in with a savage. You understand? So you do need to know how to conduct yourself. This is a good reason to get the book. Definitely. And other than that, if it ain't you, it's going to be your seed. It's going to be your child. You love your children. You want them to know the best things. They don't need to know how to play grand auto theft. They don't need to know what's on the new website. They don't need to watch reruns of Good Times so you can point things out. They need to know real life stuff. We are being hunted. It's a war. We are being hunted by the Ku Klux Klan out in the public. It's not hidden. They will blast us at a traffic stop. It's real. Right. So we got to know everything. You either going to die or go to jail, but they're looking for us. They're trying to hit us up. Right. And then with the stem cells, they're so fascinated by our melanin. It does so much. It's so much study that melanin can cure this and treat that and make this. They're kidnapping us at an alarming rate, something they've been doing since time began, because they're saying, well, wow, man, these guys can take sun rays. Like, other people have to buy certain lotions and put chemicals and stuff on just to go lay in the sun. Right. For us, this is regular stuff. They know that we're gods and goddesses because we're the only race of people that our hair defies gravity. Our stuff grows up. It defies gravity. It grows right back to the sun. It grows up. They're saying, yo, these people are different. Yo, we need to know. So they snatch us and kidnap us and study us and take us apart and use our stem cells and make clones and do all kind of crazy things. So you have to be mindful. And they don't even got a body snatch you to snatch your mind. They do life studies all the time. Right. So, that movie Taken, that was real. Stuff is real. You got to be on one. You got to pay attention. Or like I said, you go through your whole life, die as a loser, and the true and living God that you should have been worshiping and praying and trying to learn, you're going to be trying to get into them pearly gates, and St. Peter or Muhammad, whoever you believe in, they're going to be at the gate, and your name ain't going to be on the list. Right. You'll be like, huh? You're going to be like, but I paid my tithes at church, but I helped the next door neighbor cut the grass. Man, I ain't had nothing to do with nothing. You had all that time in life, and you watched all that TV. You did all them video games. It all amounted to zero. You don't even know your ancestors, and they were right there throwing every sign. Every time you heard something drop in the back room, they were giving you all kind of signals, and every time you avoided a car crash when the brake said, and you really didn't hit it, they were right there. You had angels all around you the whole time, and you always choose to say, man, I don't believe in that stuff, man. You always want to be spooky about it. And guess what? Your name ain't going to be on the list. Your name ain't going to be on the list. So I advise people, man, you better get with what you know is real and stop playing around. Like yesterday, St. Valentine. Now it's coming out, a lot of these, nobody's religion, sorry, but I got to, again, time is disclaimer. But a lot of people, they're celebrating this Valentine's Day when they know these Catholic priests have been known for this pedophilia. But at the St. Valentine, he was bold with it. His depiction of love was a little tiny white baby boy named Cupid. Got him in his arms. He's showing y'all, look, this is how I get down. People are confusing that like it's cool. Like, okay, this is love. This is our love day. How? Are you crazy? I don't need somebody to tell me when to put rose petals on my satin sheets for my lady. I don't need a certain day to do that. And if I do, it's not going to be a Catholic priest day. That's what it's not going to be. Okay. But that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. People just study and worship. You put energy into satanic rituals, and then you wonder why dumb things happen. You wonder why you call your job and you're trying to get the unemployment and they're telling you, nah, your paperwork didn't go through. And you're like, huh, what? Yeah, you playing with the devil. You playing with the wrong stuff. Yeah. So don't be knocking people that's being righteous and stuff. Don't knock that. Get with the, you know what I mean? Yeah. And again, if you don't know, you'll know once you get here, because once you get here, you have a whole bunch of time to learn yourself, and you'll come out as a guru. You'll be the master of something. You know, you'll come out as a guru. And it's unfortunate. You shouldn't have to go here to become a guru when we just talked about, me and Brother Gil just talked about the whole resources of the whole world are out here. You shouldn't have to go to jail and come home and try to look for resources. Right. You can go over Sierra Leone right now to count diamonds. You don't have to go to the jeweler in the Midtown and pay too much. You can get it from the African brother who got a whole bucket full, who might give it to you for free. You know, plane tickets are cheap right now. He might be like, you want that stuff? Go ahead and take a handful. It means nothing. It's natural resources on the land. They don't worship it. They don't have jealousy and stuff like that over there. You know, that's European stuff. We were walking around nude with a leaf. We didn't have jealousy and lust and all of that stuff. They said, no, we got to put clothes on that and make it look sexy and make people lust. It shouldn't even be that kind of stuff. We were loving people. We never had gunpowder. We were cool. We were in the jungle with animals. You know what I'm saying? We was taking zebras and lions and stuff down with a spear. We was cool. We didn't need that stuff. That stuff is from the oppressor. He was like, man, these strong mandingos and these Amazon women, they even named their company after our women, the Amazons. They said, man, we need some guns for this. They started making cannonballs, blasting them at us because we was too much. The minute balls, the Shaquille O'Neal's, that's regular stuff. We big boys, we big women. And imagine how big our brains are. Y'all just thinking about our feet and our upper head. Imagine the brain up in that joint at full capacity. You know what I mean? We are the people that made computers. See, that's what I always tell people. People are smart, man. You know, people are smart. And there's some people who will never be smart. Like, we're operating right now through these devices, these cell phones, these computers. But there's people who made these joints. There's people who made the little chips that go inside them and dip up, bam, and made the upgrades and stuff like that. It's people who are really smart, who really use more of their brain. So don't just use a little bit of your brain when you have all of this left. Don't have a bunch of air in your head, man. Have a bulletproof brain. Don't be an airhead, literally. You know what I'm saying? Don't use your head for a hat rack. It's more things your head could be used for.
It's a alarm, and it's surprising to me. It's an alarming number of adults who are following behind youth.
Following behind what?
The youth, who are imitating the youth, who are, and I definitely believe that this is one of the reasons why there is lack of respect with from youth to elder. I don't think it's being taught as much anymore, to respect elders. And I also believe that elders are following youth. What do you think about that?
It's the same thing with anything else. It's, the curse needs to be reversed. It's all in the same technology bag. However, it depends on what level, because at some point the student does become the teacher.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Not saying that this person is a student. Like, this is a youth, and I spoke about like the crack epidemic, which left a lot of kids raising themselves, right? So when an adult who has knowledge, or who just know how to move, tries to interact with this youth, and the youth hears something he don't like, automatically is disrespect, or automatically is don't tell me this, don't tell me that, because I've been doing this and I've been doing that. When anybody could be a teacher, true. Anybody, you can learn a lot from anybody. However, there shouldn't be more adults emulating the behaviors and the attitudes of the youth than there are youth emulating the elder or the adult.
Okay. I don't know where's the statistic or the ratio on that. What are you basing that on?
How many I'm basing it on a lot of behavior that I see for myself.
Okay.
We still have a lot of individuals who are living at home with their mother, family member, but they're in the club or they're trying to still be a rapper. And I'm not knocking anybody's dream, right?
I understand what you're saying.
You have a mother who may dress like her daughter and hang out with her daughter and her daughter's friends. And be drama back and forth, right?
I understand.
So
babies having babies.
Right. So it's like, how can we tell who's the teacher, who's the student, if they standing next to each other and they almost look exactly the same, but you could tell because one got a gray beard and one got, you understand what I'm saying? So
I do understand that. And, I never really thought of that, but I can tell you how that is as it relates to jail. There is a lot of fathers that are cellmates with their son. Yeah. There's a lot of sons who come to jail and their father's still there. There's a lot of sons who adopted the ways of their father and their father never disciplined them or taught them any other way. And they were cool with, this is what it is. My papa's locked up, ain't about nothing. I'm getting locked up too. And it's a dirty, nasty cycle. But what it boils down to is what you just said, really is babies raising babies, and, not to crush anybody's hip hop dreams or whatever like that. Cause I told you I'd get down too. I believe I told y'all next time I was going to give y'all a rhyme because I have rhymes relating to the stuff. And remember, like I told you, I do know things only 5 people in the world know. I'm at that era that I'm hip hop bull. So I'm not sure what fan base is out there, but I always, part of my motivational speaking, I drop bars. I do. And I'm nice with it.
I hear you, bro. I'm nice with it too. I'll put
No. I'm nice with it now, and I'm very, very serious about, the educational side of it. Let me give y'all something right quick. Let me give it to my peoples and your peoples out there. Okay. You ready? Here it goes. I can curse, small bit. No?
Yeah. Go ahead.
In jail, they feed you garbage for breakfast. NCOs, these chumps run around and talk reckless. Then they make us work for damn near free. And they make that clear plastics we can't hide our knives and our TVs. Then they got rapists on the block with the killers. Snitches ain't scared no more. They in the cell with no drug dealers. Now fighting to get you back in the courts, but when you in the county, they don't let you buy packs of Newports. Listen, the water's recycled in the showers. Dudes go for anything. Nobody's trying to fight the power. You gotta do the programs, they say. You can't just chill and do your time like back in the day. The hardest dudes turn into gippers. Cats feel so comfortable in jail, they walk around in their slippers. And dirty politicians in office. And the women at the women's jail can't buy no summer solstice. Believe me, jail's overcrowded. Dudes get around the guards and act like they bout it. CO's always bending the rules. They be trying to get some get backs from the way that they was treated in school. The parole board determines your future. They try to make you change and take you from the lifestyle that you used to. Listen, jail is really perverted. Cats got a lot to say, but they don't really know how to word it. The visits be over so quick. I heard from my young boy, my man be trying to visit my chick. Man, there's so much hate in the hood. The straight shots that ricochet always be taking the good. I ask God to come down and fix it. My grandma always played that parable and missed the thing, but I did. Seems like the judge couldn't stand me. I couldn't beat my case. I really missed it, my family. That's jail. And that's real. And I told you I have bars, man, and I have bars for days and days and days. And because you know why? I try not to be a washed up old head. This is why I'm timeless. I try to relate to all people. When I get around the youth, I have to, because what'll happen is if you don't have the correct first impression, you can forget about getting your message across. You know how it is. A lot of people are willing to judge the messenger, and that's not cool. You're supposed to just get the message and keep it pushing. But again, the same people that raised us are not the same people that raised them, so they don't have the same integrity, morals, ethics. They don't have that. Right. They lack that. So understanding what you're up against when trying to not just embrace but trying to educate. It was said once that it's easier to build a child than rebuild an adult, and I do believe that's true, but I also just want to give everybody a chance because I don't want to leave anybody behind. Right. You know, I agree with the no man left behind thing, but you have to understand, and this is my thing, you have to understand, and this is my thing, many people called, few are chosen. That's my thing. So for the few that are called, you know, sorry to hear that. For the ones that are chosen, I'm glad for you. And for every one of y'all, get the book, man. And that's real deal. Get the book. And Gil, I don't know, because now you got me started on my hip hop. I appreciate you allowing me to do that. And I'm hoping that the lines start popping because I do that. And I'm also, you know what I mean, if y'all check me out on my page and stuff like that, I got a lot of connections in those things because I'm about seeing our people rise. Right. You know, I don't really embrace hip hop today as it is, all the gangster stuff and stuff like that, because I understand the destruction behind it. But what I do appreciate is the millionaire entrepreneurs that it has created in our community. However, they're not spending their money the correct way. They're still giving it back, you know what I mean, to the Jews and stuff. And like, this is sickening. You know, you see these guys with jewelry, right? They buying these pinky rings and these necklaces and stuff. And it's, you know, because the oppressor, they like to laugh in your face. They're buying jewelry. Now that stuff came from Africa, it came from Sierra Leone. So why isn't it called Africalery? No, the Jews stole it and put their name on it. It's called Jewelry. And but they don't know that, so they wear it. And they think they swagged out. So we have to know what we're getting into. But then you wonder why you're cursed. You wonder why your purse left you. You're getting stuff that depreciates. It was fake. Come to find out, and this and that. I would like to see our people that's up, like at LeBron level on down to Meek Mill level on down to whoever, to invest your money wisely. Those people can actually save the entire community of all of us. They can put something together that frees the minds. Because once to reach real freedom, you got to free your mind. To reach real freedom, you have to have that free dome. You have to free your dome, freedom. And those are the people that can put something together and do it. They're the leaders. It's like those people, the hip hop people and the athletes and stuff, they really don't know because they didn't sign up to be a leader. They didn't sign up to be a role model. They just signed up to play what they play, do what they do, and get their money. But it's not something that you sign up for. It's something that's thrust upon you when you're in the media all the time, when you have people looking up to you and following you, and you're a leader anyway. So you got to be careful what you lead somebody into, because again, I warn those same people too. You're gonna get around St. Peter or Muhammad one day, and it's gonna be some trouble. You might not get in them gates, man. Right. It's very selective in the pearly joints, man. It's very, very selective, man. So I advise people, man, get with the whatever you think can keep you out of here. And in the meanwhile, if nothing else, just to support the brother, I'm doing something positive. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing something very positive. The book is full. It's full of knowledge. It's full of information. And after reading the book, you will gain wisdom, because I'm in my wisdom years. So what is wisdom? It's the wisening of your dome. It's the wise dome, the wisdom, the wise dome. You'll have that after you read the book. You can be young and I'm going to give you wisdom. Wow. So it's a good look, man. It's a good look, ladies, gentlemen. It's a great look. And again, I thank Lady J. I thank Brother Gil. You know how overwhelmed I was, man. You know what I mean? When I heard that I was invited back so quick, I was like, wow, I must have made some type of impact. Wow. Because at this point, I give the glory to God. At first, I never knew what that really meant. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I give all the glory to God, all the praise to God. Right. No, that's true. You got to give it up, because God gives you certain talents and stuff like that you can do your gifts for him. Once you tap into your purpose, right, and you start doing it for God, doors just fly open, man. You don't even need no keys. Doors fly open. People just, everything comes your way. But you have to be lined up with your purpose. You know, don't go to trade school and become a mechanic and you know you didn't grow up working on cars. Right. Do what your passion is to do. They say when you go to work, you're supposed to love it. You're supposed to love waking up and going to work. Once you get there, you know you have tapped into your purpose. And from there, God just starts pulling up. You see all the nice, godly people, smiles every day, all day, good energy, positive things. That's when you don't get killed at the traffic stop. The cop pulls you over, you get the warning. Okay, go ahead, have a nice day. Everybody's happy. But when you're not in your purpose, you're filled with a bunch of things that shouldn't be there, and then a lot of things that shouldn't be there. Now you're acting a certain way, because you're not yourself. You're beside yourself because you're not even in your purpose. So be careful and be mindful, people. And it's not something that you seek, it's something that you make available. Keep your door open. Be in position to get into your purpose. You can't run around looking for your purpose, just like you can't run around looking for your life mate. You're not gonna find them on Match.com. It's gonna happen when it's time to happen. It's gonna happen. You're gonna meet them in the Walmart in the pine saw aisle. You got a house, they got a house. You're gonna bump into them. Y'all are gonna talk. It doesn't happen on Match.com. I don't care. I don't care. That's looking and searching and reaching. It happens here. It happens when you buy books from people that God wrote the book. God took the ink pen. Again, I wrote this book in what was it? 2000. I wrote this book in 2008. And I didn't publish it until 2018. I didn't publish it until God published it. It was on the back burner all that time. This is why I'm timeless. You know what I mean? I didn't rush into it. I allowed God. I used patience. Right. Believe me, I wanted to publish it. I wanted to, but it wasn't time. So I promise everybody, man, with patience, that's like remember your grandparents used to tell you, man, patience is a virtue. And we just use that as cliche to the point that we never even looked up what virtue meant. But it is virtuous. Patience is a virtue. You understand what I'm saying to you? Patience brings endurance, which brings gifts. At the end of the day, I'm gonna cut through everything. You get your gifts, man. When you're patient and you wait till what's coming to you, what's designed for you, you will like it because it's for you. I tell people all the time, you can rush out there, you can try to do this or that or the other, and if it ain't for you, it's not for you. You can only get what's decreed for you. God knows exactly what you're supposed to get. You're not going to get a nickel more or a nickel less. Can I share a quick short story? How much time we got? Can I share a quick short story?
All right. We got time.
So there was this lady. So she woke up and she was on her way to work. So when she gets out in the morning to start her car didn't start. So she's panicking because she got to get to work. So she runs to her next door neighbor, tap, 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 tap. She knocks on the door. Mr. Such and Such, can you come help me start my car? He pops the hood. He gets the car started. She's off to work. No problem. She gets to work about 20, 25 minutes late. She tiptoes past the other workers. She slides to her cubicle, sits at her desk, and she begins her workday. Now, it's lunchtime. Boom, she goes to lunch. She usually eats at the bottom of her building at this eatery. She gets the same sandwich every day. So she orders her sandwich. This time when she gets her sandwich, she looks on there and there's something on there that she doesn't eat, maybe pickles or mustard or whatever. So she's like, yo, man, I don't eat this. So she's about ready to complain and throw a fit, but the other dude behind the counter said, hey, I know that lady. Hey, get a sandwich to me. I'll make her sandwich. So he does. He makes her sandwich. No big deal. But in the process of the mixed up sandwich thing, she's starting to be late coming back from lunch. So she's on her way back to work. So she said, well, look here, I'm just going to call my supervisor and tell him, look, I'm having a rough day and everything like that. And, you know, boom, she calls she picks the phone up, she dials the supervisor, and then bang, the phone goes dead. Her battery dies. So now she's late coming back from lunch. Now, she was already late this morning. She's late coming back from lunch. She tiptoes past the cubicles again. Now she's really pretty embarrassed. She puts her head down on the desk like this. She bends her head on the desk like this. She said, God, why? So God responds, why what? And she said, God, why did you make me late for work this morning? God said, whoa, wait a minute. What do you mean make you late? She said, yeah, I was late getting to work. You didn't let my car start. God said, but it was an accident that was going to happen on the highway, and I wanted to preserve you. I wanted to save you, so I delayed you a few minutes. So this is where we find out that every delay is not a denial. So she went for that. She was like, okay, that does make sense. Okay, I can see the blessing in that. Okay. So she said, but God, why did you mess my sandwich up? Like, I get the same thing every day for years. Like, what do you mean? God said to her, well, I couldn't allow you to eat that sandwich because the person that made that sandwich was very, very sick. And I knew that it would make you sick and you wouldn't be able to afford to miss any more days from work. You would need that time. And so now that blew her mind. Now she's paying attention. She's like, okay, now I really need to start thinking like an optimist. Now I fully understand. She said, but God, why couldn't I have at least called my supervisor? Why couldn't I just tell my supervisor what was going on? God said, I allowed the phone to go dead because you were about to get a phone call that was ready to really mess your day up. Now, I say all of that to say Every delay is not a denial, and that God is in control. You have to be patient. Allow your blessing to come to you. Don't chase it. It's coming. Long as you're in position, it's coming. The minute you lose faith, the minute you start putting negative energy in, the minute you try to start doing your own stuff and stray away from that which is righteous, is when the dumb stuff will happen. Right. So if you notice, each thing that happened to this lady, there was another side of the coin that was optimistic, that was positive. You understand what I'm saying? So I just wanted to share that, and it didn't have anything to do with the book, but it had something to do with God, and it just had something to do with patience. It had something to do with belief. It had something to do with righteousness. And I'm a firm believer. Now that we're related to the book, I'm a firm believer that if you get the book, it'll teach you all them kind of things, because you're going to see things in here that's going to teach you how to conduct yourself. So patience is one of the things you'll learn. Can you imagine doing 3 years and you get a phone call, somebody tells you your grandma dies, or even your mom, or your daughter gets raped? You're going to have to be patient. You have to wait till you get out just to address the family and see what's going on with anything. So you're going to learn some patience while you're in there. Can you imagine? I told you you're going to be in the cell with that person who got 17 years in, and you and him got a problem, and the sergeant tells you, well, okay, I'll move you out the cell, but I won't be able to do it today. I'll move you Wednesday, and it's only Sunday. You got to be patient. You don't want to get on this dude's nerves between now and Sunday. You got to ride it out. So I'm just trying to learn people about different scenarios, real life stuff, because real life happens at any time. As soon as you try to make a plan and leave God out of it, life will show up. You'll get a flat tire or something. You'll be like, man. You know, life shows up all the time. As soon as you save up and you was on your way to such and such, here comes your son with some dumb stuff. Dad, I need to and you can't believe it. You just saved that money, but you have to do it because real life shows up. The water heater breaks. Life shows up. Right. So we have to be ready, and we have to be at our best selves. If you're not at your best self, if you don't refine yourself, you could possibly act like an asshole. You can act negative. You can put some negative energy in the air and take that's when you could make a bad situation worse. I ain't gonna say you're gonna make it go straight to hopeless, but you want to keep a bad situation bad. You want to keep it where it's at. You don't want to inflate negativity, because negative is only negative. It ain't no way around it. Life is a polarity. The positive and negative charges, that's what starts a battery. It has another side. So if there's some negative stuff happening, you can believe positivity's coming. Up and down, fat and skinny, black and white, rich and poor. You can believe there's an other side to it. So wait for your other side. Be patient and know that it's coming. It's proven in science. It's not something I made up. This ain't no Thomas disclaimer. So I appreciate if anybody buys the book or whatever the case may be. If there's any questions or whatever, that's nice. That's love. If not, my hour is up, and I really appreciate you, Gil, and Lady J.
Some issues right now, and she's taking care of some things in her space.
That's cool. That's cool. I believe me and you held it down.
Yeah. Listen, I think you were super dope. I really appreciate all the information, all the innuendos, and all those you said it ain't slick, but it is those slick wise words. That's what I'm gonna call it, some slick wise words.
That's cool.
And listen, tell everybody where they can get the book again, and how they can reach you.
Everybody, first of all, how you doing? Thanks for coming. You can get the book at whereresources.com. Do you got the link in the description or anything?
She didn't put it this time. At where? No, she got it at Where Resource. Yeah. It's there. Okay.
Make sure you guys check in the description, and also you can come on my page, and you'll see links all over the page. My page, I'm at Timeless Thomas on Facebook, at Timeless Thomas, on Instagram, and also Instagram. I'm at jailbook_101 at Instagram. And my phone number, for the sake of networking, 202-798-9053. My email, if anybody would like to get in touch with me, jailbook3030@yahoo.com. That's jailbook3030 yahoo.com. I have another email that's bigdeezy, BigDeezyy @gmail.com. Also, Saturdays at 12 noon, I host my own radio show on 95.3 FM. It's a power hour, 12 noon, 95.3 FM, WHGE, Wilmington, Delaware's only black radio. And I'm the host of that. And my show is called Back to Greatness, where we talk about problems for like 1 or 2 minutes, and then from there we discuss solutions. Right. So I appreciate everybody coming out. Lady J, I love you. Brother Gil, I love you. Thank y'all. Get the book, please. If nothing else, just do it to support positivity.
Thank you. Once again, y'all, Lady J had to step away, but I'm gonna hold it down. Gilbert and Bell Live. You can follow me on social media at Gilbert and Bell Live, or on Facebook at The Life of Gilbert and Bell. YouTube at Gilbert and Bell Live. I come on mainly Sundays at 8 o'clock, and I speak with different individuals like Brother Thomas and any type of young professional entrepreneur that's trying to make a way for themselves. I really like seeing success stories. I'm a true believer that if you think it, you can believe it, you could do it. Like it's as simple as that. You got to put that work in. It don't happen magically, but you can do it. So thank you everybody for watching. BMore Brooklyn. Look out for the merch. That should be available next week. BMore Brooklyn. Support, subscribe, share, and we thank everybody again once again. And we speak with y'all next Monday.
Peace.
Yeah.